G'day, Nils Vesk here. So you might be wondering, innovation, how do I do it in my everyday, today workday? And it's a really good question for a couple of reasons. One, because a lot of people might not necessarily be working on an innovation product or reinventing something radical. And so you might be going, well, if I do innovation day to day, I can still improve my output and make my life even more exciting in our day-to-day humdrum stuff. All right, so the first thing that I would suggest you to do is the things that happen when you get to work at the start of the day. And we could really start this off with a great kickstart by asking one question, which is, what's the number one thing I need to focus on improving or innovating or reinventing today such that everything else becomes either easier or unnecessary to do? And by asking that one question, it really helps you get laser focused on the most important thing to do that's going to free up either the rest of the day or the rest of your week. Pretty simple. Trust me, it works. Now, once we've done something like that, I really suggest people do what I call an idea muscle strengthening activity. And this is where we pick a topic where we might need some solutions and we ask ourselves the question to generate 20 ideas to solve whatever that problem might be. So let's say, for example, when we did the laser focus question, we identified an issue around our customer onboarding process. So we might say, right, what are 20 ideas I can generate to make our customer onboarding process seamless, better, and outstanding? And what I do is I put usually a song on my headphones for about 3 minutes, give myself 3 minutes or a timing clock, and I write down as many ideas as I can, trying to get to that 20. Sometimes I don't always get there, but most of the time I do. Now you might be going, but 20, isn't that a lot? Yes, it is. But here's what I found from over 20 years of experience of doing this type of stuff, is that we often have to get the ordinary ideas out to create the extraordinary ideas. It's not until you get that barrier that you start going beyond the obvious to come up with ideas. And by setting yourself a target of 20 ideas, you really do generate ideas that are worthy. Okay, second thing that we can do is to look at problem solving. Now, day to day, we always come across a problem, but we're usually approaching it from the same location or the same spot where the problem is evolved. But if we actually have a tool, say for example, an ideation prompt that we can use it to generate ideas on demand. And the prompt I would suggest you use is one that we developed called Scramble. I wrote about it in my latest book, The Reinvention Sprint. Shameless little positioning there. But so here's it goes. What could we substitute? What could we combine? What could we reverse? What could we add, automate, or adapt? What could we multiply, magnify or minimize? What could we break up or break down? What could we leverage or what could we eliminate? And by writing that acronym down or having that handy, it's really easy then when you've got the problem to go, oh, what if we were to reverse this? Or what if we were to break it down a little bit more? What if we were to eliminate something? You get the gist of it. Scramble to help solve your problems. So the third thing that we can do is to look at how we can tap innovation into our meetings. And I would suggest that we almost always have one meeting that we do consistently. It might be every week, like a team get together or a review or the planning week. And I would suggest at the end of that session is a great time to ask this one question. And the question simply put is, what's a great invention, product or service or experience that we've come across recently that rocks that we could somehow adapt and apply to our organization? And when we start to stretch ourselves to think beyond our own industry, that's when we can come up with those purely great innovative ideas. It's just a question, it doesn't take too long, but it starts to get people to think beyond the day-to-day work, enabling them to come up from a bird's eye view to look for those new, fresh, innovative ideas. All right. Number 4 for our everyday innovation is to look at projects. And so when you're starting a new project, even though it may not necessarily be an innovative project, you could ask yourself this question. What could we do in this project to make it faster, simpler, safer, or easier to do? And just by asking yourself those prompting questions, you start to think of generating ideas to create a better result by getting the project done sooner and less expenses and the sort. Okay, number 5, the final one, which is what you can do at the end of the day. We don't want to make it too big because you're usually packing up, wanting to get out. So what I'd suggest after you've turned off your computer, everything else, you're about to walk out the door, is to write down what do you think has been one pain point that you've come across today or you've heard someone else talking about that might be worth addressing. That's it. No need to go any further than that, but just by identifying a pain point, and that might be a frustration, it might be a complication, it might be where mistakes are being made, just by identifying it, it puts it into your radar for the next day to go out there to look at ways that you might actually go out there to solve it. So there you go, 5 simple things that we can do to help you incorporate innovation in your everyday, day-to-day innovation and your day-to-day work from. I hope that helps. Please, if you've got any more questions that we can help solve, shoot them down in the comments below, give it a thumbs up, and hopefully, get to catch up with you soon. Cheers. Bye.